Okay, so the video cut out because storage space, but finishing reading number 3, hopefully whoever got reading number 3 kind of recalls the first part. If not, I'll just go ahead and recap a bit. The overall energy that I'm picking up is that you have, in a sense, like a limited knowledge of the world. It's like you haven't experienced the world yet, and the overall energy is that you're wondering about the world, and you're also scared about the world because you haven't gone out there yet. Everything you know, everything you trust, everything that you understand, excuse me, not understand, but everything you feel about where you're at, you know, is kind of, man, I did such a better job explaining it at the end of the last video, but essentially you're worried that whatever, if you were to go out there, you're kind of worried about losing a certain part of yourself. You're worried about keeping balance of your energies, and supposedly it's more so about your feminine energy and also about your inner knowledge. I think you're going to have a lot of people telling you that you don't know what's what, and that this isn't this and this is that. People are going to be trying to tell you that your inner knowing, your inner knowledge, your inner wisdom is wrong, or that you have to change it. And I think the approach is to not let go of your inner knowledge. I think, you know, with this situation, like, you're gonna have to, like, you get the Justice card, so it's like focusing on, like, going with the system, and, like, you know, like, if there's rules and stuff, you gotta focus on that, and, like, focus on, like, yeah, okay, you gotta play the game, you gotta listen, you gotta focus on whatever, like, the justice of the situation is, but your approach is more or less to keep holding on to your inner knowing and your inner, like, thoughts, beliefs, and whatnot. You know, of course, like, it's going, like, what you know and what you feel, of course, will change once you go out and connect to the world, but again, your approach, overall, like, there are going to be certain things about you that, you know, from childhood and like all the way to adulthood, like, there are things that we've known about ourselves that we just never let go of, and I think that's obviously going to be fine, and I think you already know that, but, you know, it's like, basically what I'm trying to say is, like, if there are things that, you know, you genuinely do change your mind about, that's fine, but, like, definitely hold on to the feminine energy and the knowledge that you have. Yeah, apparently, it says, like, at the outcome of this is pretty much just, like, it's basically a happy ending, so to speak. Like, a lot of good is apparently going to come from this. And I don't know how I still got this at the bottom, but, like, basically you've got someone supporting you, and they're supporting whatever, like, they understand you still have to, like, a choice to make, to either do something or to not do something, but regardless, they support you. Yeah, and they're gonna hold down the fort regardless. Like, whatever happens, like, home will be safe. So that's a really good sort of, I call this the backbone. That's, like, kind of a pretty good backbone to have. So yeah, the overall energy might be you're worried about what's out there, and if that's what you're worried about, what's out there is more happiness. What's out there is more connection, more fulfillment. I think your emotions are going to be flowing like crazy in a way you've never felt before, or maybe not never felt before, but it's going to be something pretty powerful. This card tells me, like, man, you had all that water in cups. It's like this whole time you've had all these feelings and you've been wondering, like, what to do with them. You're worried about your own feelings, essentially. You're worried, like, your challenge is, like, are you going to be able to channel all those feelings into something basically controllable? And, you know, sometimes there's no such, sometimes you gotta let go of control, and, like, that happens. And so your challenge is, like, how are you going to turn all of that energy of emotions from these 5 cups into something stable. That's your challenge, and that's something you're worried about. But I think it's that you simply need more cups. You simply need more places to put your feelings in. It's like, if you only know about 5 topics, like let's say you love 5 things: food, air, people, water, I don't know, and books. If you only love 5 things and something frustrates you, like, all of your energy is going to go to one of those 5 subjects. You know, like, where's all of your anger? It's only in 5 things. Where's all your love? It's only in 5 things. But if you have it in 10 things, a pure wheel, when your emotions start flowing, you have somewhere to channel them. You'll have somewhere for them to go, so that you don't have to hold in your emotions anymore, essentially. The water is very still. It's like you have to keep everything in. It's like everything you have all these feelings, and you you have to keep it in, and you make sure it stays still. But once you get more cups, essentially, you'll be able to let them flow out, and they're going to pour out in a way that everything's going to be able to go into one another and sustain one another, as well as flowing out into the world. And I think there's something really beautiful about that. So yeah, if you're worried that your emotions are trapped inside, and that if you let them out, you're never gonna be able to put it into something productive, essentially. Like, you know, perhaps you're worried that you're someone who's very unstable, or you're someone who's very, like, I don't know, commanding, or things get out of control when you start to let these waters no longer become still. If you're, perhaps you're worried about that. And it really seems that if you approach this situation with your own inner wisdom, and you really focus on, like, you'll get what the work you put in is a reward you deserve. This is this is simply what you deserve at the end of this journey, and it's what you're going to get. Is what the Justice card tells me. This is what you're gonna get at the end of that journey. Okay. So whoever watches this video, hopefully this resonated with you. To be honest, this sort of all became like a personal reading for Mariella, one of my best friends. Maybe it's because maybe it's like I need more focus, and you're just on my mind, Mariella, because I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. You're leaving at the end of this month, and I can't believe it. But, assuming there's some messages out there for some other people, hopefully this resonated with, more than just one person, and that this wasn't just a personal reading, and that it's gonna be like, pick a card. The reason, I'm saying that is because whether you pick 1, 2, or 3, Mariella, or whoever, they all pretty much kind of said the same stuff. But they're just kind of like different focuses. So honestly, this should be at the beginning. If you feel like you want to watch all of it, like all 3 parts, I think they all more or less will apply to you. But, yeah, whoever listened to these videos, or whoever just picked a card and listened to that sort of reading, hopefully, if you were worried about something, it was talking about what you were worried about, and that it maybe gave you some comfort in whatever you were doing. It's very possible, someone might come across this video and watch it and be like, none of this resonates with me. That's totally okay. I'm sure as I do more readings in the future, I might get more accurate general readings. I think the universe can pick up that I have so much on my mind about people that I know right now, that when I do these readings with the intention of it being general, that the universe is like, we know what you're really concerned about. Here it is. This is kind of what you want. It's I don't know. It's I gotta keep striving to make my readings more general versus specific. So I'll be working on that. But yeah, whoever watched this, hopefully you enjoyed, and I really hope you have a good day. Thank you for the time and energy. Peace out.